Continental Cablevision of Mid-Michigan presents High School Hoops Preview with Scott Moore and Rob Otto.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lansing Catholic Central High School, where tonight the Cougars will play host to the Rams of Holt High School. I'm Scott Moore, and joining me this evening is Rob Otto. And Rob, we should have a whale of a ball game.
It's going to be a great ball game. Now, it's a non-conference game for both teams, but don't let that fool you. These are two quality ball clubs, and they both need to make sure they stay on a roll and get back on a roll as they head back into their conference play next week. So expect a very good ball game. It's going to be a tight one tonight. Excellent game, Rams and Cougars.
We'll set the lineups for you in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of Continental Cablevision's High School Hoops Preview right after this.
Hey, Mom, I got like 20 minutes to learn everything about the solar system.
The solar system? What's the hurry?
Someone's coming over to work on a science project with me.
Oh, I see. Come on, come with me.
At Continental Cablevision, we're developing the technology that will provide you with instant access to a world of information.
And the celestial bodies which...
You know, Saturn has 10 moons.
Really? How'd you get so smart, Jason?
I get it from my mom.
Spartan Mitsubishi wants you to know that regardless of the terrain you drive on, the totally redesigned for 1995 Mitsubishi Montero will get you there in style. And right now, Spartan Mitsubishi can get you in a new 95 Montero at an incredibly low $349 per month. That's right, for only $349 per month. And you can only test drive it on our new terrain. Spartan Mitsubishi's new dealership at 5609 South Pennsylvania. So hurry in today.
Scott Moore along with Rob Otto for tonight's high school basketball game between Lansing Catholic Central's Cougars and Holt's Rams. And Rob, let's take a look first at the Holt Rams and take a look back at their previous games this
I'll tell
season.
you what, the Holt Rams just started out like a bombshell. They were just electric at the beginning of the season. Started out with a couple of non-conference wins. You see the win there against Mason. It was a close one. They almost lost the first game of the season. That might have been a whole different look for them. They beat Mason 65-62, and then they came back and beat St. John's as well. And then coming into the CAC season, they won 3 straight in the conference. Jackson, Okemos, East Lansing, all pretty good games. They looked very good, very dominant. Looked like they might have, really had a shot at breezing through the CAC. So they come into last week. They're 3-0 in the CAC. They lose 2 straight to Everett and Grand Ledge. Both good ball clubs, but all of a sudden, at the beginning of the week, they're 3-0. At the end of the week, they're 3-2. They came back, bounced back, just a barn buster. They beat Lansing Sexton by a point on a last-second shot. They really need this game to make sure they keep the momentum going back into the CAC. Now they're in an amazing, like a huge tie for second place in the CAC. You can see the conference standings there, and it's quite a jumbo. So if they can keep it going, win this game tonight, they got a good shot at a run for the CAC championship.
You can see the log jam for second place right there. Of course, Lansing Everett out on top 4-1. Whole bunch of other teams at 3-2. Jackson at 1-4. And Lansing Eastern bringing up the rear at 0-5. And Lansing Eastern may have been 1-4 there as well. They had a close game a little earlier this season against Sexton. The Holt Rams are coached by Bruce Larner, and his assistants are Nelson Bond, Dane Reichman, and Scooter Trop. And the Lansing Catholic Central Cougars are the hosts this evening. They come into this game with an overall record of 6-4, Rob, and we'll take a look at how they got there.
I think they're a little better ball club than their 6-4 record. Obviously they're winning more than they're losing, but they've played some really close ball games. You see the first game of the season, they were kind of the opposite side that Holt was. Holt won by a couple of points. The Catholic Central Cougars lost by a couple points against Waverly in their first game. Had a game against Grand Ledge, which was postponed due to that great weather here in mid-Michigan, and they came back from that, won a couple against Lakeview and Eaton Rapids, lost one in the middle there to Portage Northern, but they've been coming on strong. A huge win against Covert, and then they also pounded out Alma as well. A couple more mixed in there. They dropped one to Okemos, and there's Lakewood and Williamston, and they lost to Charlotte, another close game. And this team could easily be closer to 8-2, maybe even 9-1 if the ball would have bounced their way just a little bit more. So don't rule these guys out just because they've got a 6-4 record.
Hey, take a look at the standings in the Capital Circuit League. Okemos, of course, again out front with a 4-0 record, and then Charlotte. A couple of teams, Catholic Central and Mason, tied up at 2 apiece. Lakewood at 1-3, and Eaton Rapids, a hard luck team in the Capital Circuit, at 0-4. The Catholic Central Cougars are coached by Art Frank. If that name sounds familiar, he was the head coach down at a different LCC, Lansing Community College, for quite a while. There you see Art Frank. And he is now in his 3rd year in charge of the boys basketball program here at Catholic Central. Assistant coaches are Tim Moore, no relation, and Dave Hunter.
The spelling might have ripped a few people off of that.
Just a little bit. Okay, Rob, so what are we going to look for tonight as far as who are the big guns for each of these teams?
We talked about that great 1-point win that Holt had last week, and it was a 10-foot turnaround jumper by number 50, their big man in the middle, Ben Bakken. He's getting almost a double-double every night. He's got 14 points and over 8 rebounds every game. So expect him to be big in the middle tonight. The best thing about the Rams is none of their juniors left for the college draft. They have a lot of returners coming back to the senior squad this year. So they were a good team last year. So they're going to come back, win some games this year. A very balanced attack. I mean, we're not just talking Bracken on the inside. They've also got a couple of guys, Tim Schram and Jeff Schultz on the outside. They're between the two of them averaging over 23 points a game. So expect them to come out, play some fast basketball. It's going to be a great ball game. On the other side of the ball, the Cougars, and their coach Art Frank, he is looking. He really likes his offense. He's very impressed with the poise of these young men. They are able to play whatever they're given. If they're getting a lot of steals, a lot of turnovers, a lot of rebounds, they will be able to take that and fast break, okay? They're also well-disciplined enough that when they're not getting the fast break point, they're not just a one-dimensional team. They are able to get back, set up the half-court offense, and put a good game plan together. They're also an amazing defensive statistic. They're holding their opponents under 50 points a game. And, you don't have to score too many points if the other team's not scoring 50. We're talking 15 points a quarter and you're a winner. So we're going to see a lot of things. The problem, they are not a really big team, but in this game, I'm not really sure that matters so much. Their largest player, Randy Gayton, he's 6'7", but he's going against Ben Bakken, who's only 6'8". So there's really not much of a difference there. Another one of their quality players who was coming off the bench, getting a lot of quality minutes, Sam Ide, he sprained an ankle. And it's possible, even if he does play today, he's not going to see too many minutes. So we'll see how disciplined this Cougar ball club is. If they can come back from an injury to one of their major players and see if they can still put together a game plan that's going to be able to win this basketball game.
So there's your look at tonight's matchup. And I wanted to let you know that Friday, January 7th, our cameras will be in Jackson as Lansing Waverly High School's Warriors take on the Vikings of Jackson High School. And you'll be able to see it on cable channel 6. You can see the replay times on Sunday the 29th at 7, Monday the 30th at 3, and Tuesday the 31st at 3 p.m. Coming up tonight, though, it's the Holt Rams visiting the Lansing Catholic Central Cougars, and we'll be back with tonight's tip-off right after this break. Stay tuned.
Host a YFU student, and you can join thousands of American families as part of Youth for Understanding International Exchange.
Asier has broadened our perspective in life as well as other people's.
He's made so many friends in high school. He's accepted the kids, and the kids have accepted him.
Volunteer now to be part of the world of YFU. Call 1-800-RU-READY.
Asier is just a loving, easygoing, caring person, and we love him just as if he was our own.
Continental Cablevision presents High School Hoops 95. Tonight's game, the Holt Rams versus the Cougars of Lansing Catholic Central. Welcome back to Lansing Catholic Central High School. The fans are standing for the national anthem.
Talented singer, Ryan Brookes.
We are back, everyone, and welcome to Lansing Catholic Central High School for tonight's non-conference game featuring the Holt Rams and the Cougars of Catholic Central. I'm Scott Moore along with Rob Otto, and Rob, I'm excited about this one.
I'm glad I just have to talk and not sing. I'm sure everybody watching is kind of glad about that too. Yeah, it's going to be a heck of a ball game.
And now let's go down to the floor for the introduction of tonight's starting lineups with PA announcer Ben McGaffey.
And the band.
At forward for the Rams, number 35, Jeff Schultz. At guard for the Cougars, number 34, Mark Waters. At forward for the Rams, number 44, Matt Vandlen. At forward for the Cougars, number 40, Brad Melke. And at center for the Rams, number 50, Ben Bakken. And at center for the Cougars, number 50, Lee Gaetano.
So there you have it, the starting lineups tonight for our game as Holt gets ready to take on Catholic Central, a cross-conference matchup, the CAC versus the Capital Circuit.
Yeah, both these teams, they really want to, get out there. We are the better conference. We are going to beat your teams, especially when you come to our building. That's what LCC is thinking. And Holt definitely wants to say, well, we can beat you no matter where we're playing.
We'll take a look at the guys that are going to keep things under control here this evening. Tonight's referees, Ken McKee and Mike Fuller.
Good luck, guys. Good thing they don't have to deal with us, or we probably really have a problem.
Oh, they'd be in trouble at that point, wouldn't they?
A couple of good-sized gentlemen looking to take the jump tonight.
The starting lineups one more time. Holt will get underway with Brookes, Schultz, Fulk, Vandlen, and Bakken. And Fernandez, Baldwin, Waters, Maliki, and Gaitan. The starting five for the Cougars. We're ready to get underway. Cougars win the tap. And they'll go for the quick break. That's Fernandez. Strikes.
Quite a loud blast from the LCC fans on their first score. I think they're going to have a good day today.
And the Cougars get it back, and a shot put up by 34, Mark Waters.
Cougars are coming out ready to play.
You bet they are.
They are looking to take advantage of anything they can get their hands on.
So the
quick ball game.
Cougars will inbound it from the baseline. Going way up top for Fernandez. He'll go right side, a long three-point try, no good. The ball loose in the middle, picked up by Brookes. Brookes will drive into the lane, stop and pop, and no good off the side of the rim. Little scuffle for the ball underneath, though. And we'll have a foul called on number 32, Russ Baldwin.
We might see a lot of fresh legs coming in and out of this ball game. If both teams are going to try and run like this, they're going to keep moving personnel in and out all night long.
Chad Fulk gets it into Bakken. Turnaround jumper, no good from the paint. Picked up by Fernandez. Fernandez will bring it down very quickly. Now we're out. Back out to Fernandez here. Fernandez will dish off to Waters. You see Fernandez back at the top of the key. This is Gaitan. He's the big guy. Baldwin will drive into the paint. Dish underneath. Nice reverse layup try by Maliki. No good. And the Rams will bring it down, set it up. Three-point try on its way. No good by Schultz. Little tussle underneath, and Fernandez comes up with a loose ball again. A lot of rebounds for that little guard. Maliki puts it up and in. No, that's Waters. Excuse me, Waters on the shot.
We got a couple of runners out here. Seeing a full court press early. We'll see how disciplined the whole team is. Got to get across that timeline.
And the pass intercepted, picked up by Fernandez. Tries to force a pass inside. It'll be batted away, and the Rams will take possession.
Well, it's interesting seeing a full court press so early in the game. LCC really wants to get down and force Holt to beat them. They're not going to give him anything.
Brookes brings it across the line, drives into the paint, dishes for Bakken off the side, no good. Nice offensive rebound, though, by Vandlen, and he was caught underneath. Vandlen will go to the line and shoot a couple. Being called for the foul there was number 34, Mark Waters, for the Cougars.
Well, when you're running and scrapping, you're going to be slapping around a little bit, and we've already got a couple of quick fouls on the Cougars.
4-0 is the score early in the game from Catholic Central High School between the Cougars and the Rams. Vandlen puts this one up and bounces off the side. Rams still looking for the first points this evening.
Well, they're not going to get them by missing bunnies like that. Free throws for a reason.
Vandlen too strong on that one. Rebound to the Cougars.
Yeah, we'll see how LCC works out of their half-court offense here. You can tell I haven't really seen any post-up moves. You can tell they're used to playing with much taller teams. They're used to moving the ball around more than trying to post it up down inside.
Here's Fernandez up at the top, setting things up.
And, of course, it's not easy against
He'll
a quality
drive,
player like Bracken.
Dish back out to Waters. And over to Gaitan. Over to Baldwin, far side, drives baseline. And they're not going to let him have that shot. The shot wound up going in, but the foul well before it.
Good-looking move. You know, that they're really moving the ball around well. They're not trying to force any shots. This is a pretty well-disciplined team, at least early on. We'll see what happens when they get a little tired or towards the end of the half.
Waters on the side. We've got a little foul action away from the ball. And that'll be called on Rudy Gaitan, number 50. So Holt will take over. They're still looking for their first points. 5:31 to go in the first quarter, with the Cougars up 4-0 over the Holt Rams. This is Schultz with the ball, forces it inside. Back out to Schultz, 3 try, no good, rims out. Picked up by Vandlen. He's got a couple of offensive boards so far this evening. Tries to force it in. Comes off of Bakken's hands, and the Cougars will get it.
I'm very interested watching this match inside with the big man. Guytown and Bakken, they're going to be on each other all day.
Waters' little jumper, no good.
Yeah, they got him hovering over the rim on that one. Can't touch the metal, you know, the ball's got to be clear of the cylinder before you get a hand on the ball. So they got Rudy on that one, but powerful looking ball player.
Well, the Rams force it inside to Bakken, puts up the jumper. This one will go, and the Rams are on the board. Nice turnaround jumper.
When you need some points, you go to your man. Bracken's the guy that's been doing it all season long. He's been winning some big games for him. Got the first one on that play.
The ball goes out of bounds, and the Rams will take over once again. They'll try to get a little closer here. We got our first substitutions of the evening. Terry Kenney into the game along with Tim Schram.
Pretty good idea, actually. Moving the ball around a lit, get some people in there that don't seem flustered.
Schram's three-point try, no good. Rebound to the Cougars. Fernandez forces to the far side to Waters. Waters, nice dish over to Baldwin. He pops in for 2 points. And the Rams having a little bit of trouble against that press. Finally do get the ball over the timeline. This is Schram inside to Bakken. And Vandlen underneath. Nice head fake. Puts it in for 2. And it's a 2-point game again. 3:51 to go in the first quarter.
All that started by breaking the press early and quickly.
Fernandez for 3. Count that one. We got people trying three-pointers all night in this game.
Now Fernandez is only 5'8". He's got to shoot that ball a little farther than some of the other players. Good-looking shot from Fernandez.
Nice steal there by Malachi. And we've got a little crumbling down there.
Just a little bit. Giving him the business there on the floor. It happens. A couple of ball clubs that are really both into this ball game. It's a good look. I really like the way the Cougars are using the press intermittently. They're getting in their face every once in a while, and then as soon as the ball's getting ready to come back, you know, they'll let them come down, get complacent a couple times around, bam, they'll knock him with the press once again.
Here is Sam Ide with the ball. He's just into the ball game. Gaitan, the shot no good. Rebound to Bakken. The Rams bring it down. Nice little pop from the foul stripe. No good by Kenney. Ball's loose underneath. This is Schram with it. Tried to get underneath, and he was fouled.
Let's keep an eye on Sam Ide. We mentioned in the pregame he'd sprained his ankle, and they weren't sure how many quality minutes he was going to get tonight. But I don't see any semblance of it. We'll have to see. And he rolls around a little bit. Goes running for some balls. He might re-injure that.
It's Randy Gaitan with the foul. That's his second personal of the evening. And going to the line for the Holt Rams will be Tim Schram. Checking into the game, Scott Brandell.
Now Brandell, actually, just a few weeks ago, was playing for the JV team. He's a 6'3" sophomore. They brought him up to get a little more meat, a little more muscle, and let Rudy Gaitan sit down, take a few quality minutes on the bench. And he's going to need him tonight against Ben Bakken.
Also checking into the game for Holt, Ryan Grant, number 45, in for Bakken.
There you go. You got to take the free ones in, they give them to you. Tim Schram's going to have to step up. The rest of the team isn't hitting some balls. He's averaging over 16, 17 points a game, so he's got to get up and get his quality points tonight.
Schram, second shot off the rim. Rebound goes to Ide, and he'll dish off to Fernandez and let the point guard bring it up. Fernandez working top of the key. Ide over to the right side. Back over to Fernandez. tries to drive, nowhere to go. That's Baldwin with it, forces inside to Malecki. Now over to Brandell, the sophomore. Into
Good
Baldwin,
look.
nice
Good look.
turnaround jumper. Got a chance to square up on it and count that.
Excellent look. He brings him some muscle. He gives him a good eye on the pass.
And the Rams still having trouble with that
They are
press.
having problems. A good-looking press. It's not smothering. It's not two-man on the ball. It's just breaking down the passing lanes.
And Jeff Schultz says, you're going to run past me? I'm going to take that shot. That's 2 for the Rams.
Now a little pressure defense from the Rams. Notice that the Rams have also sat down Ben Bakken when they noticed that LCC was taking Rudy Gaitan out of the game. So they're going to, they're going to match those two up. And they say, you're going to rest Rudy? We're going to rest Ben. We'll see which one of them comes out on top.
The Cougars inbound from the sideline. And Fernandez has it. Over to Ide. Back up top. This is Malecki with it now, looking for someplace to go. Back over to Fernandez. Catholic Central working the ball around the horn real well here.
Very, very well. I mean, they're not trying to force any shot. Carlos Fernandez could have pushed one in there, tried it earlier, but he brought it back out. Gets a nice, easy dumper underneath the basket. Excellent ball movement.
Brandell, the sophomore, with his first 2 of the evening. 3-point try for Schram, falls out. And another whistle. And this will be called on number 11 for the Rams, Terry Kenney. And the Cougars will take it out of bounds. 14 fouls on each team so far this evening.
I'm really impressed with Carlos Fernandez. He's not, there's a couple open shots that he could have taken, a couple he could have forced. He's more interested in getting the ball to his scorers and make sure that they can get towards the bucket.
Brandell, baseline jumper, no good. Baldwin, putback, no good. Holt with the rebound, but stripped away by Malecki. And the Cougars will set it up in the half court.
Excellent time to kick the ball out. There were too many yellow jerseys down there.
I tried the runner into the lane, no good. Rebound offensive goes to Cougars. And they'll set it up once again. Inside the last minute of play in the first quarter. Fernandez drives into the paint.
Oh!
But he took steps. No good on the shot.
One step too many. I'll tell you what, Fernandez has been setting that one up all night. He would drive in, dish back outside. Drive in, dish cross court. As soon as he realized they were standing on the balls of their feet, ready for him to dish it back outside again, went right for the bucket. Would have been a great move if he just would have taken one step instead of 2.
Matt Maloney checks in for the Cougars in the last minute of the first quarter. This is Schram. Over to Schultz. Inside to Bakken. He'll put it up and count that for 2 points.
There you go. They've been throwing the bombs all night long when they got down there. Finally, the defense started loosening up. Got Bakken open wide down underneath. Easy 2 points for Ben Bakken.
Cougar lead is 4 with 26 seconds to go in the first quarter. Fernandez working up top, trying to find some place to go. The Holt Rams with a good defensive set right now, deep in their own end.
Well, they know they really haven't been trying to pop too many shots from up top. They've been working for inside shots, and
Fernandez pulled that one up and just could not force it to go.
No help from gravity. Oop, got a couple of steps after he caught the ball on that one. Wasn't quite able to get the ball down on the floor before he started moving with it.
1 second left in the first quarter.
Or is that a minute?
Nope, that's 1 second.
Okay, just check. Thank you very much. I'll just take your word for it. How's that?
It could be a minute, could be 10 seconds. It is 1 second. Trying to get the tip, and we'll run out of time. That's the end of the first quarter. 8 down, and more to come. So stay with us. At the end of the first, the score is Catholic Central 13, Holt Rams 9. You're watching High School Hoops on Continental Cablevision.
Do you remember your first date with Grandpa?
Oh my, yes. I was late, and we missed the first half hour of the Philadelphia story.
Nice one, Grandma.
At Continental Cablevision, we're developing the technology that will enable you to find the movie you want. From new releases,
ladies, join me in the den,
to old classics.
John, you remembered. Oh, you remembered that, too.
Grandma.
Spartan Mitsubishi wants you to know that regardless of the terrain you drive on, the totally redesigned for 1995 Mitsubishi Montero will get you there in style. And right now, Spartan Mitsubishi can get you in a new 95 Montero at an incredibly low $349 per month. That's right, for only $349 per month. And you can only test drive it on our new terrain. Spartan Mitsubishi's new dealership at 5609 South Pennsylvania. So hurry in today.
Back to action in the second quarter now. Lansing Catholic Central hosting the Holt Rams. We're just underway in the second quarter. The Rams got the ball to start things off, tried to drive baseline, and it was Jeff Schultz that got fouled on his baseline drive, and he will shoot a couple from the line.
They could really use these points, keep them right in here. You know, 4 points, 2 points. It's almost a big difference.
A little short on the first shot off the front rim.
Just seems like Holt needs to calm down a little for me. They're getting the shots, you know, they're missing more free throws than they're making. They've got to get their shots to fall. Should be a lane violation there.
Put that up a little bit stronger, but that one came off the back rim. And I think we will get a call on that.
Yep. Number 40 for the Cougars, that's Grant Malecki, got his foot into the lane before the shot went up, so he gets another shot at this one.
Schultz puts this one up. It'll roll around and out. Vandlen had the rebound but lost the handle on it, and the ball will go to the Cougars.
My.
We'll watch Carlos Fernandez bring it up court, working along with Sam Ide. Down inside to Brandel. Nice put back by 20, Matt Maloney.
Well, Bakken got a block and a half on that one. The second one he tipped, who ended up going right into the hoop.
Jumper on the baseline by Vandlen is good. Count that. Still a 4-point lead for the Cougars.
Yeah, they've got to get those shots to count, and that time they did it.
Ide trying to find someplace to go inside. Here's Maloney. Down deep to Ide. Ide will drive the baseline, kick it back outside. Here's Fernandez all by himself. Long three-point try, rims out. Nice rebound underneath by Brandel, though. Kicks it back out. Here's another three try for Fernandez. This one, he took a step closer.
Exactly.
And said, that's what I needed.
Carlos said, I don't need a college tray. I don't need an NBA tray. I just need to be behind this little blue line.
Rams with the ball now. Brookes finds Schultz. Over to the side for Schram. Count that. That's a three-pointer.
Well, that's a big one,
I'll
too.
take one.
That's a big couple of points right there.
Brandel drove into the lane. The shot was no good, and we will have a foul called. And it looks like it'll be on the Holt Rams 34. That'll be called on 44, Matt Vandlen. That's his second personal foul. And going to the line will be Scott Brandel. Started the season on the JV squad, was bumped up to the varsity.
Showing me that he absolutely deserves to be here tonight. He's getting some inside rebounds, you know, playing some tough defense, getting his body in there, pushing some people around. Smart choice by the head coach.
Jeff Schultz will take a seat for the Rams. Darnell Powers, the senior guard, will come in. And Brandel will take his second shot. This one's good.
The second quarter is turning out a little different than the first quarter is. More like I was expecting it. A lot of points, some quick buckets.
Here's Powers' first shot. Count that one, little short jumper.
Well, you got to love getting a little spark from your bench like that. Man comes in, gets 2 quick points, really keeps you in the ball game. Makes you feel good, too, especially since some of the starters and other subs have been struggling so far tonight for the Rams.
Here's Mark Waters. Fernandez is out of the game for the time being. The Waters running the show from the point.
A tight man-to-man defense here. They've decided they're not going to let the Cougars set up. They're going to make them move the ball around, maybe get a quick turnover. That's what they're looking for. One bad mistake from the Cougars will get the ball back for the Rams.
Brandel finds Baldwin, top of the key. Baldwin trying to decide where to go, finds Ide, left side. And Ide on the baseline, nice little jumper.
That was actually Scott Brandel.
Oh, was that
sophomore
Brandel?
tossed that one down, yeah.
Okay, so Brandel gets the points.
Good looking ball player.
And this is Ryan Brookes.
Well,
Finds
right now we
Powers.
got to get well, there you go.
Brandel, you were just going to say we got to get back into the game.
Got to get back into the ball game. He's your scorer, so I don't know. It must have been on the same wavelength there. Got to keep dishing him inside, especially right now when Rudy Gaitan is not in the ball game. Bakken Howe has 2-3 inches on everyone else on the floor.
Baldwin's heads-up play saves the ball for the Cougars.
They're letting them play. They say they're both going for the ball. Incidental contact.
Baldwin, 18-footer, no good. Tried to save it. That was Maloney trying to save it. It came off the backboard.
I would still try and single it up with Bakken unless you get a nice move on the inside.
The Rams underneath trying to get possession of that ball. We've got a foul called, and it'll go against the Cougars.
Catholic Central cannot let that many gold jerseys stand underneath the offensive board like that. I mean, it's bad enough when you get back and going over people to get the ball. But when you let 3 or 4 of the, the guys, the 6-footers underneath there, without boxing them out, you're basically just letting them go.
Take a look at this 3-car pileup on I-96.
Just excellent hustle. Oh, that's a nice shot. And he had the presence of mind to grab the ball and toss it back up. Nice play.
And while we were out, Tim Schram tried a 3, could not convert on it. By the way, some of the starters have come back into the game for the Cougars. Fernandez is back in there, as is Malecki. Mark Waters is still in there, Ross Baldwin in there, and Rudy Gaitan.
Oh, excellent.
Nice putback by the Rams. That was 25, Tim Schram with the points there.
Once again, if you're going to let the point guards get in and get offensive rebounds and putbacks, it's going to be a long day for the Cougars. They've got to get some bodies on those Rams.
Fernandez puts it up from 19, no good. Rebound Bakken.
Tell you what, you win the rebounding war on both sides, you're going to win the ball game. That's what the Rams are doing.
Ben Myers with the ball now. He'll go right side. Here's Powers. Inside to Bakken. That's what they want to do. He puts up the turnaround jumper, and that's good.
All righty, now
and
the
Rams with the lead now, 21-22.
Confidence is back for the Rams. They took it on the chin the whole first quarter, and then they came out in the second quarter. They sparked themselves. They're getting the rebounds and the points, and now the lead.
This is Myers driving baseline down in the land of the tall trees. No good, but he comes up with a rebound. 3-point try on its way. No good, Tim Schram. And a whistle underneath.
That's a nice
foul on Holt.
That's a nice break there for the Cougars. That game really, this game almost could have gotten away from them. This will be a nice chance for them to set up their half-court offense, work it for a nice bucket the way we know they can if they beat this pressing defense of the Rams. If they can get a nice bucket here, this game will be right back in their back pocket. It'll be theirs to win or lose.
Darnell Powers picked up his first personal on that exchange, and the Cougars have it now. Fernandez with it. Just over the timeline. He'll
Rams
work to
back
his
in
right.
a kind of a tight zone. They're going to make sure we got no buckets in the paint. We're also pressing them hard out at the 3-point line. Nothing's going to come easy for the Cougars. The Rams have decided that.
Now Waters. He'll go down to Baldwin. Trying to work it inside. There's Gaitan. Puts it up from short range. No good. Gets the rebound. Puts that up off the rim. Nice fakes.
Oh, my.
And finally they get it. How many chances are they going to get?
I don't know. You give a team 4 offensive rebounds, chances are eventually they're going to make it count. Quick turnover by the Rams. All right, once again, now we've got momentum shifting to the other side here. Some nice inside play, some nice rebounding by the Cougars. Art Frank's sitting there saying, yeah, that's the way to play basketball. Now they've got the lead back. They've got the ball. If they can stretch it out here, play good, solid defense, we'll see what happens.
23-22 the score. Cougars on top now. Air ball picked off by Holt, and they'll bring it back down. This is Schultz. Tried to force the ball inside to Chad Fulk, and it was almost intercepted out of bounds off the Cougs.
Nice heads-up defense there. That was, you know, and it's also a gamble. If you miss that ball, if it gets in, he's got a clear lane to the bucket. So Cougars willing to take a chance. They could win him a ball game.
He's back in turnaround jumper with Gaitan in his face, and he's going to be called for it.
Yeah, they say they got him with the body. It wasn't up near the ball. Boy, Rudy Gaitan. Sorry, Rudy. he is having some trouble with Bakken. That's his third foul already tonight. You see him coming out of the game. They're going to put the sophomore in there. Now is the time that Ben Bakken needs to step it up. He's got his man with 3 fouls. He's got a sophomore guarding him. This is the time to keep getting the ball to Bakken. Let him get a good, you know, maybe even another 6-7 points before the half comes up.
And he's got to take advantage of those free throws. Let's take a look at
the foul. A nice pass inside. He got straight up with him, but his lower body bumped him right as the shot was going off, pushed him off just enough, and that'll get you a foul every single time.
Bakken's other free throw was good, and the Rams reclaim the lead by 1. 24-23 the score, 2:11 to go in the first half.
Now going to a man-to-man defense from the Rams here now. They're giving a little bit of a different look.
Interception on the play. This is Brookes. Drives, and he'll kick it back out. The Rams will set it up. They'll go over to Schram. He tries to drive baseline. No good. And as the ball comes out, that was Malecki stepped on the line as he came down with it, and the Rams will keep it.
Well, even if you've got 1 foot out of bounds, you're still out of bounds.
That's right.
Could be a good break for the Rams.
Minute 51 to go in the first half now. Rams up by 1 over the Cougs. 3-point try on its way. Count that one. Good for Tim Schram.
Timmy Schram. He had to step the ball game up. He knew they weren't scoring their points the way they could. He's not going to let that happen. Interesting figuration. It's kind of a variation on the box and one. They're each guarding man-to-man, and then they're leaving someone in the paint to zone against any inside movement, and it's paid off twice in a row.
Paul Anderson with a big steal. Long 3-pointer for Schram. No good. Bounces out, and it's out of bounds. It'll go to the Cougars.
Cougars got a break right there. They had no silver around that basketball when it came back down. Now they let a couple Rams get the ball. They knocked it out of each other's hands, so it went out of bounds. That would have been another board for the Cougars. Excuse me, for the Rams.
Schram's going to come out of the game, and Ryan Grant will come in his place.
Fernandez needs to calm his team down. He needs to move around, get a good shot.
And we've got a call.
Gets a quick move and ends up getting his arm dragged. Quick foul.
Foul called on Ryan Brookes.
We'll see if old Carlos Fernandez can connect on these two. This would help out his ball club. A little better ball game here in the second quarter. A little more what I was expecting. The whole first quarter, they were feeling each other out. You know, only 22 points scored in the entire first quarter. Now they're back to each other.
Team's in the bonus situation. Fernandez connects on the first.
That's always a big one, too. You miss the first one, you don't even get a shot at the second one. So it's always important to make sure that first one falls.
And the second one rims out. So the Rams will keep that 3-point lead, 27-24. This is Anderson. He'll drive down deep, force it down to Ryan Grant, and he stepped with it.
I don't know. That's a close call. We had number 34, Mark Waters, kind of riding his hips as he got that ball underneath and forced him to take a couple steps, but well, the refs will call what the refs will call. It all evens out in the end.
Fernandez finds Brandel left side. Now this is Malecki. He'll drive into the paint, put it up, no good, short. Rebound Brandel, he'll put up the shot, no good, but he's fouled.
That sophomore is really impressing me tonight. He's a good-looking ball player.
He's got some moves.
Imagine him in a couple of years, you know, might get a couple inches taller, a couple more pounds on the frame. Could be a good ball player, good-looking ball player.
He's got to have something going for him and come up from the JV midway through the season.
He's showing it to us tonight. He's not acting like someone who was just brought up to put an extra body on the floor. he is out there playing his game. He doesn't care that these guys are 2 years older than he is. He doesn't care that he's a sophomore and they're seniors. When he's got the shot, he's taking it. When he can make the play, he's going for it. That's a well-disciplined ball player, especially, for someone who possibly might not even have his driver's license yet.
The Cougars possibly not missing Gaitan as much as they would.
Exactly. Back to the press. This worked very well in the first quarter for the Cougars.
And the Holt tried the alley-oop pass, couldn't connect on it. 23 seconds to go. And the Cougars will bring it down, trailing by one. You think they'll be looking for a last shot here? I think so.
I think so, too. I think that's what the Rams should have done on that last possession. They had a 1-point lead. They brought the ball down quickly. They beat the press. Instead of trying to force it in for a quick alley-oop, they should have tried to draw it back out, let the rest of the team come down, work the ball around, try for the last shot. Now they're giving the Cougars a chance to take the lead in at halftime.
That was Jeff Schultz being called for the foul on that one. Mark Waters will go to the line, and he'll shoot 1 plus a bonus. First one's up and in. And it's a tie game at this point, 27 all, 11 and 8/10 to go in the first half. And Waters will try to give his team the lead. Off the rim. Oh, big block by Bakken. Over to Brookes. He'll drive into the paint, put up the shot. It's good.
Take it to the hole. 2
nice
seconds.
Move. And the desperation shot falls short.
What a great series to end the half. Both sides. Oh, that was an excellent series.
Nice moves on both ends of the court here just before halftime. And our score at the half is Holt 29, Catholic Central 27. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with second half coverage of High School Hoops 95 in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Spend a month abroad this summer with Sport for Understanding International Exchange and learn the international language of sports.
Habla usted field hockey? Do you basketball?
Voleibol golf.
Do you speak sport? Do you speak sport?
Join a high school Sport for Understanding team. Call 1-800-424-3691.
Hey, you stink! 16, you stink! Come on! You play like a bunch of jerks. What? Wanna watch that? Hey! Nice stinking work.
Would you act like this at a high school game? If you were the only fan in the stands?
Nice way to play. That's beautiful.
Next time, pretend you are.
Welcome back for second half action, everyone. Scott Moore along with Rob Otto from Lansing Catholic Central High School as the Cougars of Catholic Central take on the Holt Rams, and they trail the Rams by 2 at the intermission. And Rob, let's take a look at some of the stats from the first half action.
Well, you basically, it's relatively close. We see that LCC has hit 10 of 33 of their field goal attempts, for right around 30%, and they've hit 2 for 6 from the three-point land. So, they've got to get their shooting percentage up. But Holt isn't that far in front of them. 12 out of 28, 43% from the field goals. and they're also 2 from 9, just 22% from three-pointers. So, you know, both teams are throwing up a lot of three-pointers. They're not hitting them very much. They need to go back, maybe get into two-point land, make sure to knock some buckets down. What's really keeping LCC, what's really keeping the Cougars in the game, they're shooting 63% from the free throw line. When they're getting the free ones, they're hitting them, and they're also getting the front ends of a lot of one-and-ones, which is very, very important. If you get a shot at that second point, you know, obviously if you miss the first one, you're not going to do anything. So now only 38% from the free throw line for the Rams. So that's something that they need to work on. They need to get that up. They could be, they could be another 5-8 points ahead if they just hit their free throws. One of the biggest stats you need to look at, the Cougars have had 11 turnovers. Now, most of those came in the first quarter. They looked a lot better in the second quarter, but they need to work on not throwing the ball away.
Leading scorers so far at halftime, Ben Bakken for Holt. He's got 10 points, and Tim Schram has 9, but he got 8 of those in the second quarter. For the Cougars, 2 players tied at 7. That's Carlos Fernandez and Scott Brandell. And in foul trouble, there is one player. He's got 3. It's Rudy Gaitan for LCC. He's got 3 already, so he's going to have to be careful.
Well, Rudy's working against the man that's already scored 10 points in this game, and he's playing him tough, but maybe just a little bit too tough. He's got to watch himself, especially in the early going here in the third period. If he gets another foul early, they might really be in trouble. Though the sophomore has stepped up his game, and he's playing very well in for Rudy Gaitan.
Thanks to our stat man, Neil Meyer, tonight.
Way to go, Neil.
For those halftime stats. And you see Catholic Central misses their first attempt in the second half. This is Schram. He'll put it up. No good off the rim. But Bakken with the rebound. He'll turn right around and pour it through from the baseline. 2 points.
That's important. They've got to get Bakken involved in the second half early and often. That way they can keep bringing the ball at Rudy Gaitan. If they can knock him out of the ball game, it's going to be entirely different out there for the Rams.
This is Fernandez working their Baldwin baseline. That's all right for the Cougars.
Excellent.
Count that one, and 2 points there. It's a 2-point ball game.
And I see, oh, there you go. I've noticed this is one of the points I wanted to make. The Cougars need to get their press out. It worked very well for them in the first quarter, and then they kind of let it go. If they press intermittently again here in the second half, they're going to force a lot of turnovers like we just saw, get the ball back, maybe possibly turn it into some easy points.
Cougars working the ball now on the offense, trying to get that deficit cut to none. Gaitan in the paint, turns around, no good off the front rim, and we've got a foul on the play. It'll be on Catholic Central, and Holt will take the ball. And the foul called on number 40, Grant Malecki. That's the first of the game for him, team first of the second half.
Well, they want to be aggressive underneath, make sure not get some of the boards, not sure give up some of the boards that they did in the first half, but fouling in order to get a rebound isn't going to do anybody any good.
Bakken tried to dish under the basket there to Vandlen, but it was batted out of bounds by a Cougar paw.
Nice quick hands on the defense for the Cougars. If they keep that up, they'll be able to play a good ball game.
And this is Schultz, finds Bakken inside, short jumper, good with the right hand, and it's a 4-point lead.
They've got to keep him out of the. They've got to keep him out of the paint. If they've got to get another body on him to do it, because he will kill them. He could easily score 8, 10, 12 points in this quarter alone.
Ball stripped away by Schultz. He'll drive, take the shot himself, no good. Rebound to Bakken. Tried to put it up, and it's batted out of bounds.
Nice work on the defense there. That's what you've got to do. You're not going to let Bakken get anything easy. He's going to have to work for every single point he gets here in the second quarter. Second half.
Wants a timeout here. He doesn't like what he's seen so far in this half, as the Cougars have let the Rams get out to a 4-point lead now from the 2-point lead.
Yeah, I don't think that's exactly what old Coach Franks was talking about in the second. He wanted to come out quick, press, get a couple of quick turnovers, a couple of quick buckets, get right back in control of this game. Instead, now the lead has been opened up to 4 points by the Rams. They came out and they're getting the ball to Bakken, which is what they need to do to win this ball game. I almost said football game. It's getting rough out there, but it's not quite that rough yet.
Football was a few months ago.
Just a few. I guess I'm just gearing up for the Super Bowl.
So the Holt Rams and the Catholic Central Cougars doing battle here this evening. We're glad you could join us for this game on Continental Cablevision. You see pretty good sized crowd on hand for a Tuesday evening.
You see the court general down there, Carlos Fernandez from the Cougars. He huddled his team up. He's getting them hyped up. You know, he wants them to play the game that they know they can play, especially here on their own court.
Exciting junior varsity game before this one this evening.
To say the least.
JV team beat Catholic Central by a single digit, 70-69. Holt to inbounds, inside to Bakken. He'll turn around, lay it up from the left side. Count that. Almost automatic. You give it to him that in far inside. Fernandez tried to drive.
Well, I guess he's decided that, you know, he's going to show his team how to play some basketball, how to hype things up. Don't just tell him. Lead by example. That's Carlos Fernandez. He's a scrapper. He's a good-looking ball player.
On Tim Schram on the drive by Fernandez, and he'll shoot a couple here. That's his first. By the way, Schram's first foul. Team first foul of the second half. Fernandez's first free throw is good.
Pretty clean ball game on both sides for the team tonight. Like we said, only one man in foul trouble, Rudy Gaitan, and that's only because he's got to guard Bakken.
Good look at Fernandez, and he takes a good look at the basket, pours that one through.
Here comes the press again. It's worked very well for him.
The Rams starting to figure out how to break it, though. Schultz finds Vandlen inside. Quick hands by Waters. And the Cougars will bring it back. This is Waters. Back out to Fernandez. Wide open for three. It rims out. Gaitan maybe heard some footsteps behind him. Wanted to stay out of foul trouble there. And the Cougars will take the ball back again. Another turnover for the Rams. Waters has it left side. Out to Fernandez at the top. That's Baldwin.
The reason this swarming defense and the press can work so well for the Cougars. Oh!
Nice baseline move by Baldwin, and he draws the foul. He'll go to the line for an extra.
And that'll just prove my point on the other end of the field. They've got quick feet. They're smart. They know where they need to be. They know how far away from the ball they can be and get back to make the play.
Second foul of the evening on Bakken. Team's second of the half.
Ross Baldwin has quietly been putting together a pretty good-looking ball game. Some steals, knocking the ball around, playing good defense on the press, and making some key baskets.
And the press goes into effect for the Cougars again. Schultz finds Vandlen left side, puts up the right-hand jumper. That's good. Off the glass, count that, and it's a three-point lead for the Rams. 5:02 to go in the third quarter. Fernandez now finds Gaitan, right side. He'll drive in towards the paint, no good. Rebound fought for underneath by Maloney, or Malecki rather. He'll put it up 2-3 times. The Rams just kind of standing around with their hands up while Malecki keeps gathering in the rebound and putting it up again.
Well, eventually, if you're standing there and he keeps getting the ball back, you eventually reach over, and that's when it becomes a foul. So nice heads-up play there by Malecki.
The foul was called on number 44, Matt Vandlen. That's his third of the evening. And he will take a seat. Coming into the game is Ryan Grant.
Yeah, Vandlen sits down with 6 points and 3 fouls, so those 6 points are pretty key. He got some good points coming off the bench, so we'll have to see. If Vandlen gets back in.
Mark Waters will sit down for the Cougars. Sam Ide comes in his place. And Malecki will shoot. First one's up and in. Take another look at that action underneath. You see Malecki.
First rebound and up, and another rebound, and blocked again, back up with it, and then eventually just got 3 men swarming around him. They put their arms out over his head, and they called the foul.
And Malecki collects on the second free shot. It's 36-37 in favor of the Rams now, fighting off that press. This is Schram. He'll bring it across. Back to Schram top, then go inside to Grant. Back out to Schram, over to Brookes. He'll be wide open for the jumper.
Nice shot.
Counts that one from about 15.
See now, when you're leaving 2 Cougars down to stay on back, and obviously there's got to be somebody open for a nice quick little jump. You move the ball around long enough. If you have the patience to move it back and forth until somebody gets wide open, you're going to get a quick 2 points. Nice 8-foot jumper will get in there most of the time. It should at least.
Baldwin puts up the jumper from inside, no good. And another offensive board. The Cougars just killing the Rams on the offensive boards tonight.
Yeah, they sure are. It's scary now. Of course, they've got to connect. That would always be nice, too. As many offensive rebounds as nice. The points off the rebounds at work. Now, that was actually Ross Baldwin forced that shot in the first place, but he was almost saved by Rudy Gaitan when he got the rebound, but came back down. Bakken got fouled, and ball comes back the other way.
Foul on that one called by Sam Ide, or called on Sam Ide, his second. Brookes drives inside, no good off the rim.
Bakken once again.
Put that with the putback, can't get it to go, and a foul underneath. And that'll be called on Ryan Grant.
Yeah, a little push underneath. You know, they figure, well, you know, they're giving us so many rebounds. I'll just help him get out of my way, and I can get this one again. But not gonna do it.
That's Grant's first foul of the evening, by the way. 14 fouls now on the Rams.
Cougars really need to put together a couple of nice scores here. You know, they're only down by 3 points. If they can get, you know, if they can just get a nice couple of good scores, prove that they can do it. Nice look. Badly executed, but a nice look.
Tried to find Gaitan. He got in trouble and tried to save it out, but there wasn't anybody there.
I think Ross Baldwin was so worried about that shot he buffed the last time down that he wanted to try and get it to Gaitan instead of taking the shot himself. Had a nice 8-footer. He should have tried to pop it.
Schultz three-pointer popped out, and a foul underneath on Ryan Grant once again. That's 2 quick fouls on Grant here in the second half. And the Rams still with a 3-point lead over the Cougars. 3:24 to go in the third quarter.
Carlos Fernandez has to keep his team together, working off the point on there. He has a tendency to try and drive in situations like this where he sees his team is faltering a little bit. We'll see if he can move the ball around a little better.
Give and go.
There you go.
Count that on
well
the baseline.
Done. A nice look from Rudy Gaitan. Oh, that was a beauty.
And Schultz will drive, finds Bakken inside, 10-footer, no good. He'll try to bring it back inside, and he stepped with it. Trying to get position out in the middle of the lane. He just dragged the feet a little bit.
Now the Rams are working their, you know, they're working their game pretty well. They're getting it to Bakken, and when the ball and when the Cougars are collapsing on him, they're going to, you know, they get it back outside for a quick shot. So good looking.
Terry Kenney and Darnell Powers in the game. Take a look at that end of the give and go on Sam Ide. Nice look underneath.
Nice baseline
on the baseline.
cut. Nice baseline cut.
1-point game now. Rams with it, with the 1-point lead, but Cougars with the ball. 3-point try. Fernandez, no good. Rebound back, and the Rams will bring it down. No press this time. Out to Schram.
And yet even on the break, all 5 Cougars were quick enough to get back and play defense. And they got back with a nice rebound. That shows speed and poise. Now that was close.
Rams wanted a foul or a call on Fernandez on that one. I think they should have gotten it, too.
We're sitting right over by some of the Rams fans that have come from Holt tonight, and they wanted to travel.
Baldwin with it. He'll drive into the paint. Dish to Gaitan. He'll put up the jumper. No good. Rebound, Holt. That was Schram with the rebound, and Terry Kenney will bring it down. Powers, right side, inside to Schram. Ball got away from him for a second. Back out to Powers. They'll set up left side now. That was Fulk with the shot, no good. Rebound to Fernandez, and he comes down in a hurry. Finds Baldwin right side. They're going to leave Fernandez. Oh, he tried the quick behind the back pass for Gaitan, no good, and it goes out of bounds. Holt will have it.
Yeah, now we're going to have a little conference and see exactly whose hand that ball went off of.
Oh, and the other referee changes the decision.
That's a pretty good call. That's a pretty good call. He actually passed that ball so far behind Rudy Gaitan. Obviously, he didn't touch it. And it just, you know, a couple of the Rams tried to grab onto it, got a finger on the ball, and that'll go out. That'll happen.
Ide with the inbounds pass to Waters. Now out to Fernandez. Back to Ide. Baseline. He'll take a step, take a shot, and in and out. But the rebound goes to Brandel, and he puts it back up. The super soft with another 2.
Right back on the press.
And the Rams trying to get it up, and now
there you go.
Cougars with a 1-point lead, trying to extend that now as Fernandez brings it down, dishes to Ide. Fernandez back deep in his own end.
Excellent choice to kick that ball back out again.
Slow that one down.
They kind of had the butterflies. They knew they had, you know, they had the lead. They could extend it, made some great plays on defense a couple times down the court. Why not take your time, set up, and make sure you connect on this basketball?
Hyde working against Powers. Kicks it out to Maloney.
Stretching out the zone defense a little bit.
Maloney to the foul line. No good off the rim.
That's exactly what the Rams wanted. They didn't want to give anything away in the paint. They'll let them take 12, 15-footers all day long.
Oh, they're going to leave Kenny all by himself, and it rims in and out. Unbelievable.
I'll tell you what, more times than not, you leave a ball player on the top of the kick, that shot's going to go. I got a feeling the Cougars are not going to let him stand on the top of the key like that with clean shots.
24 to go now in the third quarter. The Cougars playing for what might be the last shot of the quarter here. They've got a 1-point lead.
And stand to the outside. I don't know. They've had a little bit of luck inside.
Tried to open things up, and Sam Hyde.
I don't know.
The luck of the Irish, maybe? Who knows
possibly.
On that one?
Luck of the no travel call, I think is what we call that one. Quick three.
Quick three try from the baseline. No good, in and out. And the Cougars with a 3-point lead. They've changed that 2-point halftime deficit to a 3-point third quarter lead. 3 of them are done, 1 to go, 8 minutes to go in the game. Catholic Central leads the Holt Rams 42-39. We'll be back with the final quarter in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Regardless of the terrain you drive on, the totally redesigned for 1995 Mitsubishi Montero will get you there in style. And right now, Spartan Mitsubishi can get you in a new 95 Montero at an incredibly low $349 per month. That's right, for only $349 per month. And you can only test drive it on our new terrain. Spartan Mitsubishi's new dealership at 5609 South Pennsylvania. So hurry in today.
Son, did you clean that asbestos out of the attic like I asked you?
Sure, Dad. But isn't that dangerous?
Poor little baby. Like I never exposed you to a Group A carcinogen before.
Secondhand cigarette smoke is a Group A carcinogen, the same as cancer-causing materials like asbestos and radon. Don't take chances with your family's health.
More lemonade, dear? It's got radon in it.
Eliminate secondhand smoke today.
Make mine a double, honey.
We're back to action here at Catholic Central High School, just underway in the fourth quarter. The Rams against the Cougars. And the Cougars of Catholic Central have a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. These are the Rams with the ball, Bakken inside. Make that 18 points now on the evening for Bakken of Holt.
That's 4 points above his season average already just at the start of the fourth quarter. So they have finally utilized him. Most of that in the third quarter. He got 10 points in the third quarter.
We're going to have a foul call on Schultz here for the Rams. He can't believe it.
I don't know.
The
whistles seem to be coming a little quick down on that side of the court. Two somewhat controversial calls there at the end of the third quarter. That's a 4. You know, they ended up the Cougars got 4 points off of those 2 calls. That's an 8-point swing if it goes the other direction. So. I don't know. Some of the Holt fans aren't real happy with a couple of the officiating calls there at the end of the third quarter, and now they weren't real happy with that quick foul here in the fourth. Might be more of the same.
Sam Hyde will take a breather for Catholic Central. Maloney comes in his place. And Malecki rather, with the ball, excuse me.
You're having some troubles.
I'm having problems tonight. My glasses broke this week, and I'm wearing my old ones tonight.
It'll happen.
One thing for sure, this is Brandell over on the side. Tried to pass it to Fernandez. It goes out of bounds, and the Rams will take it.
He had the right idea on that one. Made it look like he was driving to the inside to get his man away from the bounce pass, but he threw it in just a little bit too low. Bounced off the knees of Fernandez and rolled out of bounds.
Ryan Brookes now with the ball. And it comes off a player, and it'll still be Holt's ball. It went off of number 32, Ross Baldwin.
Again, he gets his hands in there. He's a pretty level-headed, and he's got some quick feet and quick hands. He's able to get around the ball.
Rams trying to work it inside. Bakken with the ball, kicks it back out. Inside, this is Vandlen. They say he stepped on the line. I believe that's... No, we'll have a foul call on Ross Baldwin. That's his second. 42-41 is the score. Catholic Central over Holt. 6:46 to go now in the game, or in regulation maybe. Brookes finds Bakken inside, automatic. He's at 20 now. What a show by Ben Bakken of Holt.
He's playing a great ball game. Both sides of the court, mind you. He's not letting him get any easy buckets down inside. You can see the centers for the Cougars are actually playing outside, kind of like a pivot man. There's an outside shot right there. They're not even trying to go into the paint since about the third quarter. They haven't made any shots from inside because Ben Bakken is that much of a force on the basketball court.
Bakken, baseline jumper is good.
Oh my, who's got the hot hand?
He is on a roll. Ben Bakken, 22 on the evening.
Turn up the burners for Ben Bakken.
And that is 12 in the second half so far in just over a quarter.
Yeah, that's a quick move. Nice quick move by the Cougar, and it's number 20, Matt Maloney. Got himself inside and forced Holt Rams, forced Jeff Schultz to get a hand on him and cause that quick foul as he was driving to the basket.
Gaitan and Ide back into the lineup for the Cougars. And Ben Bakken taking a breather. Coach Bruce Larner saying, way to go, big guy.
He has definitely earned one.
This is maybe Catholic Central's chance now.
Yeah, they've got to connect now that Bakken's out there. They've got to work it back inside or, work the ball around enough so they can get some of their outside shots that they're very capable of.
You can bet with Holt having a three-point lead here, they'll try to collect their thoughts, slow things down maybe a little bit, give Bakken a little more time on the bench, and then bring him back in for the end of the game. Vandlen underneath, drives baseline, no shot. He walked with it.
Well, he caught the ball and then jumped towards the basket. And, he thought it was a head fake, but he actually shuffled his feet a little bit. Yep. So now we're going to watch for the Cougars. Now with a chance, we're going to look for Carlos Fernandez to move the ball around real well from the point. And they just brought in Grant Malecki once again off the bench. And we'll see him maybe even driving towards the bucket. But it's all got to start with Carlos Fernandez.
Holt with a little mini press of their own here. And Maloney finds Fernandez.
They're
Cougars
definitely trying to work Malecki downtown, and there he is.
Malecki under the basket. The shot no good, but I think he'll go to the stripe.
But they knew that was coming all the way. They put Malecki out there specifically because they knew when Bakken is out of the game, when they know Bakken is out of the game, they know he can move pretty well underneath and not have to worry about getting blocked.
And now Bakken's coming back in.
Back in, exactly, yeah. I think maybe Coach Larner from the Holt Rams said, well, I see what they're doing. We better get old Ben back in the game. We're not going to let him drive under the baseline like that anymore.
He got a little bit of a blow there, but he's back in now. Malecki good on the first.
Got a feeling, barring any strange circumstances, next 5.5 minutes, I don't think Ben's going to get a chance to sit down.
Kind of like when Bryant Big Country Reeves was at the Breslin Center.
Exactly.
He played all 40 minutes.
Exactly.
For a big guy, that's almost impossible. 43-45, the Cougars trail the Holt Rams on their own court. And some action away from the ball there. The foul will be called on Malecki.
Well, Malecki got down underneath, was just trying to drive through, and Bakken was camping out right in the middle of the paint. Tried to go through him rather than around him, and as he shoved him out of the way, they just happened to be the referee was watching him at that point.
5 minutes, 23 seconds to go. The Holt Rams lead it by 2.
It's not going to be easy for the Cougars to come back here. They need to play. They need to play just the same tenacious defense they've been playing all game. I've got a feeling, with about 3 minutes to go or so, if they're still down, they're going to press full time.
Bakken drives baseline, no good. Fighting for that rebound, and we may have him called for a foul on Rudy Guyton.
Oh, he's excited. Carlos Fernandez gives him a quick 5. That was just heads-up play. That was very nice.
They were battling for that basketball. That's 3 on Bakken now. They got him for going over the back and.
Oh, my.
Oh, the puns
I thought I was
now.
the bad pun maker. I don't know. You're knocking me out today.
And Rudy Guyton will take this shot. No good off the rim, but the rebound comes out to Malecki. Nice job on the offensive boards. Sam Ide for 3.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's big. Here comes the press.
And the Cougs with a 1-point lead now, 46-45, 4:55 to go in the game. Vandlen finds Bakken underneath. Back out to Schultz for three. No good off the far rim.
Oh, that was almost the fourth foul on Bakken right there. That was a close one.
Malecki with the rebound. Dishes to Ide for three. No good off the rim. And Brookes will bring it down. Bruce Larner says, let's hold it up. Let's set up a little bit here, guys. Enough of this transition game. Schultz looking underneath, finds Bakken, working against Gaitan, and he's in the paint and automatic for two.
Boy, if you give Bakken that first step, he is going to get you to the bucket every time. He's got some relatively good first step for such a big guy.
We've got ourselves another barn burner here, Rob.
Now look, you can see on the upper left-hand side of your screen, Rudy Gaitan is all the way back in the far corner. He's not even playing in the paint because he knows Bakken's going to be all over him.
But Malecki drives into the paint and takes on Bakken and wins that battle.
Malecki's just like, Ben who? I'm going to the hoop. Oh my.
Central up by one now. The feed underneath for Bakken.
Jeez.
He'll put that one up uncontested.
No matter when you're pressing, it's got to be a four-man press because you've always got to have a body on Ben Bakken. If you let him stand underneath the basket, why press at all? You're just giving them 2 points if they can get him the ball.
We got a seesaw game on our hands. Holt with the 1 point lead now. Malecki working his way into the paint, and he's going to be called for steps.
That was just excellent defense, and Malecki trying to do a little too much. He got sandwiched in between two Rams, and as he tried to carry the ball past one of them to dribble, the ball got caught up. He took an extra step. They got him for traveling. That could be a costly error for the Cougars.
Schram finds Schultz right side. Back up to Schram. Over to Brookes. Back out to Schultz. They're trying to get it inside.
Oh!
But Malecki doing the job defensively, just ghosting on
Rudy
Bakken.
Gaitan was up there all over the place. Interesting. Now what they're doing, they're playing both sides. They're playing both sides on Ben Bakken. They're in front of him and they're behind him. That way they're now, instead of saying, okay, you're going to get the ball in your first step, we're going to try and make sure you don't get the ball at all.
They put Grant Malecki on him too. He's you could see on that last series with Bakken trying to get back and forth underneath the basket, trying to get open, and Malecki was just velcroed to him.
Exactly, and then what they did is they put Gaitan in between Bakken and the ball, wherever the ball was. Tried to pass it in. Gaitan, obviously a pretty good size guy. He's 6'7", got up there, knocked it out of bounds. Gets us to the situation we're in right now.
Well, and it gets Gaitan out of the situation where he could pick up a foul. You get him out away from all the banging underneath.
Exactly.
You get him out there to cut off those passing
They seem to be doing that on the offense side as well. They're clearing him out. They're letting Malecki try and drive to the hoop. See if he can get around Bakken. Now, what we haven't seen is Bakken closing down on Malecki when he drives to the hoop. As soon as that starts happening, what you're going to see is a quick pass across the court to Rudy Gaitan, who will now be coming in as soon as Bakken tries to break down for a double team. But, of course, the Cougars have to get the ball back first.
We'll look at some of the crowd here at Catholic Central High School on a Tuesday evening.
Those are some of the Holt faithful that have come out tonight, and they see their team up by a point at Lansing Catholic Central.
3 minutes and 3 seconds to go in regulation. And we've got a foul called on Sam Ide. That's his third.
Yeah, I don't exactly see that ankle hurting Sam Ide too much. He's come out and played a pretty good ball game.
The Rams will inbound, looking for some place to go. Schultz picks it up.
Look at the quick feed in there. Look at that.
Inside the back, and we're going to be called for a travel on that. He had to take a hop step to get away from this man.
Bakken had 3 men on him. As soon as he got the ball, a fourth man collapsed on him. He ended up on 1 foot, tried to spin around, had so many bodies around him, he just moved around a little bit. Well, they finally got smart. It took them, about 40 minutes, but they got smart, and now they're playing him pretty tough.
Fernandez tries the alley-oop to Malecki. No good. Rebound to Bakken, and Holt's going to slow it down a little bit.
Malecki's a quick ball player. That will work to him. Of course, with a 6'8" guy standing in the middle, it's a little tough to get the alley-oop up there, but they are really trying to work him into the offense. An excellent idea.
Bakken way out top now, trying to break things open for the Rams.
Yeah, they're trying to get him the ball and let him maybe even drive a little bit. He's got quick enough feet for it.
Schultz just kind of standing his ground there.
Well, he can stand there as long as he wants, as long as there's no man within a few feet of him. Then he's not going to get a delay of game called on him unless there's a man guarding him. Once again, boy, they are working the clock. This is a dangerous situation. Up by 1, trying to work the clock down. All it does is take you out of your normal game plan.
And there's a foul.
I'm not real happy with this decision. Not real happy. You've been playing well. You've been going back and forth with them. You know, if they're going to collapse 3-4 men on Bakken, play the inside-outside game. Toss it in, have them talk it right back out. Delaying the game like this, it's slow. You know, you mentally kind of slow down. It's much easier for you to make a mistake when what you're thinking is not score, but run time off the clock.
The Cougars had a couple of fouls to give. They took one there. Maloney called for his first of the evening, gave him 6 on the team. And 1:42 now to go in regulation. Holt up by 1 and holding on to the ball.
Ben Bakken does not look very comfortable standing on the top of the key with the basketball.
He's not used to being in the circle except at the beginning of the game, I think.
He trying to looks like he doesn't know what to do.
And the Rams keeping the ball in the hands of maybe their 4 best shooters, just in case they can draw those foul calls. Schultz will be fouled by Ide there with 1:18. That's 4 on the senior guard.
One of only 2 seniors. Only Fernandez and Ide are the 2 seniors on this ball club. So, my oh my, can you imagine what these guys are going to look like next year?
These guys will be hot next year, and Schultz will go to the line.
They've still got the sophomore playing for him too, Scott Brandell. So he's still got 2 more years here, and he's a good-looking ball player.
Art Franks is loading up for next season.
Of course, he hasn't quite given up on this season yet.
That's for sure. Schultz will put up the first of the bonus. Connects on that one. That's the first points for the Rams for a while because they just haven't been taking any shots.
Exactly. They ran more than a minute off the clock before taking a shot.
And Ross Baldwin will come into the game. Matt Maloney will sit down.
Now keep an eye on this. We have both Ross Baldwin and Grant Malecki in the ball game. They've basically been training in and out for each other. Now with both of them in there, they're both quick, they're both smart, they both make good moves to the basket, and they're both great defensive players.
Schultz connects on the second one. It's a 3-point Holt Ram lead. 1:14 to go in the game. And Art Frank's team wants a chance to sit down and talk about this one for a bit.
Talk about it, yeah.
51-48, the score from Catholic Central High School.
Now there's still plenty of time left here. What I hope I don't see are the Cougars desperately trying to toss up a 3, because they don't really need to do that. Still over a minute to play. They can play, the game of shooting a 2, getting a good basket, in about 20 seconds or so, then either getting a steal or causing a turnover with their press, or getting a quick foul and go back and forth. Neither team is exactly impressed on the free throw line tonight. There have been plenty of misses, so they can play this pretty smart. They don't need to go for the tie right now.
It's gotten to the point now, Rob, where Holt is not going to take any more shots in this game except from the foul strike.
Exactly. They're not going to try and push it in. So, the Cougars have to realize that. Just play their game because they know they're either going to get a turnover or send them to the line.
The Rams coming back out onto the court. We've got 1:12 to go in regulation. The Rams, you can see it right there with a 3-point lead over the Cougars.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Coach Art Franks of the Cougars decided to send in here. I think we're going to see some quick ball movement and moving the ball around. Still got both Malecki and Bowers in there. Excuse me, Baldwin, not Bowers.
Gaitan, Baldwin, Malecki, Fernandez, and Ide.
Little uniform adjustment there by Malecki.
For the Cougars, and Fernandez will handle the ball. They'll set it up. Malecki right side. Malecki will drive to the baseline. Around
there it is. That's the shot they wanted.
He takes it for 3 off the rim. No good. Gaitan with the rebound and saved by Fernandez. They got to take the shot. Fernandez with a 3. Hits it. He hits it inside a minute to go. We're all tied up.
Oh, Carlos Fernandez. What a big shot.
Vandlen now finds Bakken all by himself. The defense broke down, and this one rolls out. His luck has ended as far as that shot goes.
Oh, my goodness. We got 35 seconds to go.
Central with the ball. Fernandez brings
Everybody's
it down.
on their feet.
The crowd on its feet here at Catholic Central's gym. Down to 25 now to go in the game. A tie game at 51 apiece. Ide hands off to Malecki. Catholic Central will be playing for the last shot here.
They're clearing for Malecki.
Drives into the paint, and he has a traveling call.
Oh, he's not happy. Oh, he's not happy.
He was trying to draw the foul, Rob. He went right into a couple of guys right up there. Holt's going to take a timeout.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you.
Malecki was trying to draw the blocking foul, but there was nothing going on there. If anything, he could have been called for the charge.
Exactly.
He gets to travel instead.
The only problem with trying to drive Malecki right down the center, everybody was expecting it. His team knew he was going to try and do it. The Rams knew he was going to try and do it. The Rams, they weren't even covering anyone on the perimeter. They had 4 defenders right next to the paint, ready to crash on Malecki as soon as he made a move. It's exactly what they did. He got caught with the ball, a couple of steps underneath him. Could be a costly move.
Now, don't be confused by the clock counting down in the corner. What happens here at Catholic Central High School is during the timeouts, the clock counts down the time left in the timeout.
Exactly. They give them their 60 seconds and count it down. So,
let's take a look back at that big three-pointer by Carlos
just
Fernandez.
Unbelievable. The ball's all around. Gaetan almost loses it, almost gets a steal. Fernandez, he's got people behind him. Quick toss back. Puts it in the hole. That's a primetime player right there. He wanted the ball.
The pressure shot, he took it.
The original shot went all the way back around, came back to the senior Ide. Carlos wanted that one, plain and simple. He wanted it, he got it. Quality shot from just a great-looking ball player.
14.7 seconds to go in the game. It's all tied up at 51 apiece. Rams against the Cougars.
All the Rams want to do here, no stupid fouls. No open shots. They want to have a hand in somebody's face if he's going to shoot the ball up. They've got Gaetan down in the paint.
Schultz finds Vandlen. Back out, 6 seconds on the clock. Schram puts it up. Too strong. Rebound underneath. Schultz puts it up in the paint. No good. Off the rim. And rebound. Run out of time. It's a tie game. We're going to OT, Rob.
Oh, my.
What a flurry at the end by the Rams, but they just could not put the rock in the hole.
Oh, my. I'll tell you. At the end there, right before the second to last shot, 2 Rams were fighting each other for the basketball on the rebound after the first shot. Had they just realized they were on the same team, one of them would have had it easy, off the glass, in the hoop, about a half second left, basically would have been the ball game.
Well, Rob, we have been blessed with a couple of great games so far this season. A couple weeks ago.
I don't know. We have just picked the right games to do.
Let's take a look at the final few seconds of the fourth quarter.
You're going to see the Cougars moving around, try and get in somebody's face. A good look at a shot right there. That was a nice look. Went back a little too strong. Right there was where we had 2. It was kind of hard to see. I know there was a lot of bodies flying around, but 2 Rams were caught down underneath the basket after that first shot went wide.
2 Rams
both had the ball,
fighting for the basketball underneath the rim, and neither of them were Ben Bakken.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If Ben Bakken got his hands on that ball, this game would be over right now.
Would have been far over.
So we're going to have an overtime. We will go and play an extra few minutes here.
Yeah, Timmy Schram, who's put together a pretty good ball game after starting out real slow, had an excellent. He had a great head fake, moved himself for a good 15-footer. Just too excited, I guess. Excellent ball game.
We'll play 4 extra minutes now. Malecki drives baseline, counted off the glass. So the Cougars draw first blood here in the extra period.
Oh my, that was over and back, and the refs didn't even call it. I don't know what happened right there. Well, I guess.
Schram, baseline 3, count that, and the Rams go up by 1.
That's Timmy Schram's first point since the first half. He missed the last shot. He came right back almost from the same spot, got himself 3.
So the Rams with the 1-point lead on the 3-pointer by Schram. Battle for the ball underneath. Rams come up with it. Brookes, nice job of stripping that ball away.
I'll tell you what, that no call on the Rams over and back right there on that one that got Timmy Schram his 3-pointer, that could be a huge, huge call. Definitely offsets the couple of possibly bad calls that the Rams got at the end of the first half.
Brookes drives inside the circle, kicks it back out to Schultz. Over to Schram, he faked shot, looking for Bakken underneath. He couldn't handle the pass, a little bit high, if you can believe that. And the Cougars will bring it back down. 2:52 to go in the first overtime.
All the fans are on their feet. Both sides of the bench are screaming, they're yelling. We got cowbells. It's just crazy here at Lansing Catholic Central.
Fernandez trying to direct traffic. Over to Ide at the top. He finds Gaetan. Inside to Baldwin. Cougars moving it around, trying to pick their shot here. Ide back to Baldwin. He's going to drive to the baseline, put the shot up. Jumper on the baseline, count it. Off the glass, 55-54 Cougars.
I'll tell you, just when you think you're figured out who's going to step up and make the next play, it just keeps going around and around and around. A different player is stepping up, making excellent plays. What a great ball game.
This is Schultz now. Schultz for the Rams, over to Brookes. The Cougars have taken Bakken out of the game here late in the fourth quarter and into the overtime, but Bakken, he's going to put up a jumper in the paint, count that. And now the lead goes to the Rams, 56-55, 27 points.
28.
28 points. I got to work on my mental arithmetic here. Meanwhile, Baldwin with the baseline runner, no good. The tip goes in by Guyton. And we're seesawing back and forth again. 1:27 to go in the game, 57-56. Lansing Catholic over Holt. Inside the Bakken for the slam. Unbelievable end of the game. Bakken with the big jam to put the Rams back on top, 58-57.
Ben Bakken, 30 points on that dunk. Oh. I'll even give him an extra 2 for form on that one.
He gets style points for that. Malecki with the ball for the Cougars. Back up top to Ide. Ide trying to direct a little traffic now. He wants to drive. Vandlen all over him. And Fernandez will go into the paint, puts it over for Baldwin in the land of the tall timber. No good. No foul, more importantly. And we've got a foul underneath.
No, Gaetan stepped on the line when he came down with that rebound.
Stepped on the line, that's what it is.
Gaetan was complaining. He said he was pushed out of bounds, but the referee says nope, it was clean. He stepped out on his own. Well, I'll tell you what. Ross Baldwin had a great move to the bucket there. The pass he just lost the handle on the ball. By the time he got it back, he had Ben Bakken in his face, and there came the block, and subsequently, the ball went out of bounds. Now the Rams get to take the lead and the ball back down the court.
Let's take a look at the big slamming, jamming action during the overtime.
They don't call him Big Ben for nothing. He's just going to come in and just power himself under.
Saw the tail end of it on that one.
I was out of my seat on that one. That
big time power move there by Ben Bakken.
I thought maybe I blew out my microphone. I was afraid I'd have to get right next to you to talk for the rest of the game here, Scotty. That was outrageous.
I got news for you. I think the audio guy back in the booth thinks you blew the microphone out on that one, too.
I don't think he's real happy with me right now.
Take that compressor to the limit. 58 for the Rams, 57. Here's the rest of that.
There it is.
With a big move.
What a power move by Ben Bakken.
You bet. Big Ben Bakken.
I'll tell you what, if he get, when he moves on, goes up to the next level, gets into a good program, get a little more muscle on that lanky frame of his. Oh my, he'll give Big Country a run for his money.
He could do some damage.
He could definitely do some damage.
41.1 seconds to go in overtime. Holt's Rams with a 1-point lead over the Cougars. And more importantly, they've got the ball, too. Bakken with it near midcourt.
I don't think Bakken playing the point. I don't think Carlos Fernandez.
Schram will be fouled by Malecki.
I'm not sure if you caught that or not, but when Bakken had the ball at the top of the key there, he was guarded by Carlos Fernandez. That's about a 14-inch height difference right there. I don't think that's exactly the matchup that the Cougars were looking for.
Talk about your Mutt and Jeff move there. For the Holt Rams, Tim Schram, who was held scoreless in the second half, will go to the line. He's got a 3 so far in the extra session, and he's golden on that free throw.
It's now 2 of 3 with his free throws so far.
He will get another shot at it. Right now, Holt with a 2-point lead, trying to extend it to 3. And it'll roll off the front rim and in.
Schram's 14th point. He came out to play. He was shut down the entire second half. He only had 9 points, and now all of a sudden, 5 quick points here in the extra period. Helps his team to a 3-point lead.
He has definitely stepped up big time. 60-57 is the score. The Rams with a 3-point lead on the road against the Catholic Central Cougars. Inside half a minute to play in the extra session. And now this sets up some more possible heroics by our friend Mr. Fernandez, excuse me. Sam Ide has tried a few threes this evening.
Yeah,
I believe Ross Baldwin has as well.
I've got a feeling they're gonna try and come back with the same play they tried last time. I got a wide open shot. They cruised it around kind of a picket fence out to the right, expecting the shot to come from there. They let Malecki drive towards the hoop, and then as soon as the defense collapsed on him, he kicked it back outside, tossed up the tray, missed it, mind you, but then it allowed Carlos Fernandez to come back. Well, I'll tell you what.
The crazies here at
those
Catholic
Cougars,
Central High School.
Those Cougars are ready for a couple of ball games. They've seen some barn burners tonight. The JV team, the Holt Rams, beat the Cougars by 1 point, and the Cougars had a last-second shot that just went a little awry. They're actually hoping, okay, you guys, we let you win the JV game by a point. Now you have to let us win the varsity game by a point. I'm sure that's what they're thinking.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way. 26.6.
Never seems to. We'll see if it works out.
26.6 on the clock here. Fernandez with the ball. Carlos Fernandez.
You want your floor general running it around here.
Over to Ide. He'll take the early three. Air ball, no good.
Off. Uh-oh.
And a battle for the ball. It'll go out of bounds to Catholic Central. Off a Ram hand.
Ide threw up a total air ball, but he made it up. Got his hand in on that pass. The press broke down on the ball. Got his hand in there, knocked it just enough to force the Ram to hit the ball, knock it out of bounds. Guess we call this life number 9 for the Cougars. They say cats have 9 lives. Well, Cougars just a big old blue cat.
Maybe down to their last
This
live,
could be it. I think we're at about 9.5 or 10, I do believe.
60-57 to score. Holt leads the Cougars on the Cougars' home court.
Here's the out of bounds. Nice pressure right there. You see Ide come in at the last second, just manages to get enough of a hand on there, so Tim Schram knocks the ball out of bounds for the Rams, and that gives the Cougars their one last chance.
We'll come out of this timeout.
Excellent work on the production department.
They put those countdown clocks up on the timeout. We have no idea how much time
I don't even remember.
Left.
I'm thinking maybe around 24, 25 seconds.
Sure.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Thanks for the guys in the booth tonight getting us some nice replays and give you a second look at some of the action we're actually talking about. 12.7 seconds.
12.7 left, and the Cougars have the ball. They need the three-point shot to tie.
Now watch Ide. He just threw the ball in. Watch him coming back out for a tray on the side.
That's where he likes
to
shoot it from. Back out to Fernandez, down to 6 seconds left. Baldwin takes the three, no good. Gaitan with the rebound, back out to Fernandez, straight away.
At the buzzer!
We'll go to another OT.
I don't believe this! Oh, what an amazing basketball game! Oh,
does it count? They haven't posted anything on the board yet. That's his 4th three-pointer of the game.
Two of them coming. Basically at the buzzer at the end of regulation and now at the end of the first overtime. That was his 15th point, 12 of them coming on three-pointers for Carlos Fernandez tonight.
Unbelievable shot.
Oh, my.
It has even shocked the scoreboard operator here at Catholic Central. He hasn't even put them up yet. Take another look at it.
Let's watch Rudy Gaitan. He comes down with the rebound, has the presence of mind to kick it back out to Carlos Fernandez, who is just wide open. There's Rudy, tosses it out. Carlos, his mind. Oh my, you know what? You heard
that shot.
You heard 12 Rams on the bench. You heard 3 coaches. You heard a whole section of Rams fans. As soon as they saw Carlos Fernandez stopping at the top of the key with nobody on him, you heard them all go, oh. Because you know Carlos was going to sink it. That little guy is just not going to let it get away from him. One more time, Rudy Gaitan.
That was almost from the same place where he took the shot at the end of the game.
Almost. Right back at him. There's Ide.
Hyde puts up the long jumper, no good. Rebound to the Rams. We're at 60 all going into the second overtime.
Well, I've now managed to blow out both ears of our audio technician tonight.
And one of mine.
And one. And I think our statistician is now deaf as well. So
Rams working it underneath. Vandlen for 2 from in the paint.
Now that's a change.
And the Rams will take the quick lead here in the second overtime.
That was his 10th point. We're getting some scoring tonight, no doubt about it.
Malecki with the ball left side. Goes inside to Baldwin. Over to Gaitan, back out to Fernandez. Gaitan, right side. In the paint. Back out to Fernandez. He'll pop for 3. No good, a little strong. Rebound comes all the way out to Schultz. He's bothered back deep. Now he's going to bring it up. Holt Ram fans looking for a foul call there. Brookes will be called for the travel, though, as he slipped trying to get that first step in towards the basket. 2:52 to go in the second overtime.
17 turnovers for the Rams.
The game that would never end.
We get paid overtime for this?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to the boss about that one.
I don't care. I'd do this one for fraction. I'm not actually going to say that. But you know what I meant.
I'll do these overtimes for free.
There you
for
go.
Sure.
That'll do it.
Sam Hyde with the ball right side, working against Schultz. Fernandez will bring it in. Dish off to Gaitan.
But I think Carlos was looking to go to the bucket till he saw big old Ben Bakken there. Oh, my!
The running jumper by Malecki is good. Count that one. We're tied up at 62.
Now, it's possible that for every behind-the-back dribble you take, you get an extra step. I think that's what happened on that
Vandlen with his 4th point of the second OT.
Bam! Unbelievable.
He's come out of nowhere. Baldwin with the long jumper. Count that one, and we're knotted up at 64. This game won't go away, folks. You've joined us for a great one. 64 all in the second overtime. Back in short jumper, no good. Gets his own rebound and puts it through.
That's number 32. Not rebounds, points. But he's probably getting pretty close to that in rebounds, too. 32 for Ben Bakken.
Unbelievable.
Boy, we got some tired young men out there, and they're just playing their hearts out. It's a shame that one of these teams has to lose.
I was just going to say that, Rob.
Though the way it looks, maybe it'll just go down as a tie.
We may be here tomorrow morning. Sam Hyde with the ball, working against Schultz. Out to Fernandez now, down to 1:18 on the clock. You've got it on the screen. 66-64 the score. The Rams leading on the road. Malecki tried to drive, lost a hold of the ball, and the Rams will get it back.
But Malecki just has like first 3 steps that just seem to freeze the entire Holt Ram defense in the paint. If he hadn't lost the handle on that one, it was another easy scoop 2 up on the right side of the board.
Schram caught in the press. Now he gets his outlet. Down to Schultz in the corner. The Rams with a 2-point lead. They want to slow it down here. Inside a minute to play now. Fernandez trying to foul. This is Schram.
It's getting dangerous again.
Schram pretty far away from the basket. Looking inside. There's Vandlen. He's had the hot hand in the second OT. Schram back, and Malecki will foul him, reaching for the ball. Schram will go to the line, and this could seal things up if he can hit a couple here. 41 seconds to go. Holt looking at a possible 4-point lead. That's the 4th foul, by the way, for Malecki.
Not that it's really going to matter much down the stretch here. But I'll tell you what. Now, again, we have had some problems from the Rams on the free throw line.
That's true. Schram will shoot 1-1. First one pours through.
Now, I'm not sure if I need to point this out or not, but if he misses this next shot, it's another 3-point game.
And Carlos Fernandez is licking his chops.
I'm sure he's very aware of what the points are here. Now, what do you...
Coach Art Franks wants to try to freeze him down a little bit. Give him a timeout here.
Obviously, if you're the Rams, you just want to make this shot. But if they miss this shot, when they come back on defense, do they now key on Carlos Fernandez? But then that would leave Hyde wide open for, he likes that left arc. You got Carlos shooting from the right arc. You got Ide shooting from the left arc. One of them is going to be open for a tray. Boy, it's getting dangerous down here. I'm afraid to see these fans after the game.
One thing is for sure, Holt cannot afford to really double up on anybody because Catholic Central has shown that all 5 guys on the court can shoot.
Now Holt, they had some problems in the first half, but they haven't missed a free throw since the first half. So they're 5 of 5 since the second period. Of course, we're now officially in the fourth period.
Well, we're winding down to what would be the end of a 5th quarter.
Exactly.
With 2 4-minute overtime periods. Schram will take the bonus now. 3-point lead, trying to extend it to 4. Nothing but nylon on that one. Beautiful.
Very nice. Boy, that
shot.
was a big shot. A big shot.
4-point lead now for Holt. Malecki will drive, spin, and pop it from the right side. 2-point lead now inside 30 seconds. And the press is on. They'll foul quickly. And that will be it for Malecki.
Boy, and he played a ball game. Unbelievable.
He's played a heck of a game. The 5th foul on Malecki.
Now, Malecki's only ended up with 7 points tonight. But, it obviously seems a lot more than that. What he did, though, he drove to the basket, created some big shots for other players on the court.
Malecki will sit down. And in his place comes Matt Maloney. 7 points. 7 points for Malecki.
And just a heck of a ball game. Obviously, that point score does not show you how much Malecki gave to this ball game, how much he kept the Cougars in here.
Vandlen will shoot the first. No good. 2-point lead. Cougars they trail by 2 and they've got the ball.
Oh my.
18 seconds to go.
That's the first miss since the first half of a free throw.
Baldwin from inside the circle ties it up. 68 all. 8 seconds to go. Rams trying to get the last shot. Schram.
He's fouled.
Schultz is fouled.
He was fouled.
With 3.1 on the clock, Schultz is hacked.
I'll tell you what, though. Carlos Fernandez had to do that. Schultz was heading right towards the bucket.
He was driving.
Schultz has been pretty quiet all day. But that one was going. I don't think there was any doubt about that. So Carlos took the chance he had to. Oh, my.
Oh, is this big. Take another look at it, folks. The foul
You'll just see
on
Schultz driving down the right side of the line, gets a nice pass, heading. Oh, that ball almost went in anyway.
Yep.
That's how close Schultz was to knocking that ball down. Good foul by Carlos. It's just a shame that it had to happen. Just a shame that it had to happen.
Schultz has 4 points on the evening. And there are no free throws bigger than these. He misses the first. He was fouled while he was shooting. He'll get one more chance at it. 3.1 on the clock and a tie game. Could we be headed toward a third overtime?
I'll tell you. 2 key free throws missed by the Rams here at the end.
But this one goes in. 1-point lead, 3 seconds left. He goes out of bounds to Holt. Off Fernandez. Holt will inbound. Catholic Central with one last chance here. They've got to steal the inbounds pass for a chance at it.
Only 1.7 seconds left. They're going to have to do it quick. What a gutsy play by the Cougars. What they did that time, the clock does not start until a player touches the ball. So what they did is they threw the ball down court, tried to get Carlos Fernandez on the run. The only problem was there was a Ram there, and he got in the way. He hit the ball first. Carlos knocked the ball away from him, but the ball went right out of bounds, and Carlos went along with it. So, wow, dire circumstances here, but we've seen that tonight already twice, and the Cougars have managed to pull it out here twice already. I don't know. This could be just one time too many. They might have used all 9 lives, especially with only 1.7 seconds left.
As you can see, no one budging from their seats this evening.
Oh, no. It's going to take us a while to get out of here. It's going to be a traffic jam outside of Lansing Catholic Central. So if you were driving around, on Tuesday night and there was a bunch of cars out there, you'll know why. It was us. It was us.
Well, parking was almost impossible before the game anyway. The lot was jammed. There was a whole bunch of kindergartners here for halftime of the JV game, and all their parents were here with them.
It was a happening. Kindergarten through 4th graders, a whole bunch of them here.
Rams with the inbounds pass. Time has run out. They tried to foul Bakken. Fernandez tried to foul him. They couldn't get the call in time. And this game is finally in the books.
Wow.
After 2 overtimes, the Rams come up with a 1-point win, 69-68 on the road at Lansing Catholic Central. We'll be back with some post-game comments right after this. Stay tuned. You're watching High School Hoops on Continental Cablevision.
Just give me scoring.
Hi, I'm Jane Aldrich.
And I'm Liz Talbot.
Do you remember the great times you used to have on the playground as a child? Well, recently, equipment has become an endangered species in Lansing in order to comply with the safety standards and the Americans with Disabilities Act.
That's why Project Play needs your help. Project Play is a cooperative effort to raise funds to replace old and unsafe play equipment in the Lansing area parks and schools. Help improve the quality of life for area children.
Just call the LEAF organization at 325-6196 for more information.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Welcome back to Catholic Central High School, everyone. The stand's finally emptying here. We have had one heck of a ball game, Rob Otto. 69-68, the Holt Rams over the Lansing Catholic Central Cougars on the road. And if we look worn out, it's because we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go home and take a bath after this one, I think. What an amazing ball game. I can't get over, just when you thought the Cougars were down to their last breath, along comes Carlos Fernandez. Ended up with 15 points, 2 key three-pointers, one at the end of regulation, one at the buzzer at the end of the first overtime. I mean, if that ball was gone, the game was over. So Carlos had a big game. Just came up a little bit short. They played themselves out. A wonderful ball game. And again, I know we mentioned this earlier. Very young team, and mostly juniors on that squad for the Cougars. So only 2 of them will be leaving, just Ide and Fernandez, obviously 2 big players, but they will stay around for a while, and they're going to have a great season this season and, of course, next season. Ross Baldwin also for the Cougars. He ended up with 15 points as well.
And for the Holt Rams, what can you say about Big Ben? Ben Bakken, 32 points this evening.
There's are Ben Bakken fans right there. That's what those are. 2 of those
on a key slam dunk in the first overtime.
Yeah, that really helped keep his team in it. And remember here now, it was the Cougars that started out in the first quarter very, very quickly. And, they came out, had a pretty good-sized lead, and Ben Bakken just made sure they kept getting him the ball. He finally started making his shots, ended up with 32 points. That's also 18 points above his season average.
Also on the scoreboard for Holt, Tim Schram had 16 on the evening. Matt Vandlen had 12.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a one-man show. I mean, you're getting good 16 points from your point guard. That's a good game.
But probably the most important point of the evening, Jeff Schultz, the 6-foot senior guard, with 1 free throw at the end of the game. Unbelievable evening. Shooting stats for the evening, Catholic Central shot 37%, 26 of 70. Holt with a 47% shooting average, 28 of 59.
And I think you can attribute LCC's shooting woes as much to Ben Bakken as anything else. You know, when they got inside, he was there, and when they forced him outside, they just missed some key shots on the outside. What a wonderful game, though, boy. Now remember, these are both non-conference games, so they won't affect the conference standings, but indirectly they might, because now, you know, after 2 one-point victories by the Holt Rams, they're cruising right back into the CAC, ready to play some ball games and ready to make a shot at catching up and possibly surpassing Everett for the lead in the CAC.
So the Rams go to 7-2 overall on the season, while Lansing Catholic will fall to 6-5 overall. We've got upcoming coverage on Continental Cablevision, high school hoops action all winter long. Coming up on over the weekend, our crews will be down in Jackson on the 27th of January to cover the game between Waverly High School and Jackson's Vikings. And you will be able to see that game on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. And this game will be replayed on the Lansing area Continental Cablevision system, Channel 6 on Thursday the 26th. If you're watching us on Thursday and you want to see it again, you can watch it again tomorrow night on Friday at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So that will wrap it up for us this evening. Thanks to the great job by our camera people.
Oh, excellent.
Thanks to everybody in the booth. The replays look great tonight.
Right.
Big thanks to Neil Meyer, our statistician extraordinaire this evening. For Rob Otto, I'm Scott Moore, wishing you all a great weekend. Again, the final score from Catholic Central High School in double overtime. Holt 69, Catholic Central 68. Good night, everyone.